So I'm creating my own version of the canvas that I can paint on, or I can use my pastels. And this is the easiest way I've come up with. 3 things: tape, that I have a lot of, which I'm trying to get rid of, scissors, and paper. Just some office paper that I usually sketch with. But yeah, so I'm just sticking them all together and forming this huge canvas, because I really want to create this fun installation or like art piece for using big space and a large area. So I feel like you can get more on it, and I've been loving art like pastels at the moment, so through using that I could create some really fun shapes. This canvas is going to be my own little creative idea. I came up with this the other day actually. I just thought it'd be really interesting because, you know, often it's all the big artists that have this canvas, and you know, they can pay this fortune to buy it, but I thought, why don't I make my own canvas made from paper? And so here we've got some paper taped together, and I just want to see how far I can go with like creating on a big scale, and this all correlates to my fashion because that's the development process. It's never about what the outcome is, and if you can nail the development and the outcome, then it means you're doing, you know, 2 good things there. Because it's all about the process and getting to those ideas and concepts. So I'm feeling very motivated and optimistic about this idea, because I don't think there's a wrong or right answer in how I approach it either. And it might even be a thing where I like drop, I pick it up, drop it by, pick it up, drop it by. But I think it would be really good to like experiment. So this canvas is going to be a very fun little project, and I'm going to use oil pastels because I've been really enjoying them at the moment, and pencil, and maybe some acrylic. I don't know if I've got much left, but let's see. I saw this amazing lady the other day after I finished work, and she was wearing this like neon yellow lace top, and I could not get enough of it. It was just so incredible, and it stuck with me for a long time. So it's not going in the slightest that great, but maybe we'll see. It might come as a surprise. Let's have it as like asymmetrical, and then like it has another layer, so it's sort of like this, very like angelic. But that's quite nice. It's very clever-y.
go for that yellow actually. I also saw this amazing top that I just ordered, and they have these like flowers popping out of the top, like a 3D dimensional thing. I don't know which designer that would have been inspired by, but the design that I really like is Trees of Noten hugely, and that's because they have really experimented with those resources around them, and again I've really enjoyed getting and finding out about flora at the moment, like especially with travelling, because it's interesting how it really varies depending where you are. And when I was in Peniche with my friend Luke, and that's not far from Lisbon, we were at the beach, and I just couldn't help but notice a lot of the plants up there. A lot of them were like dried out, so it was interesting to note that as well, because with it being so hot, it's absorbed by the sun, all the colour, and it becomes really dry and light and pastel-y, and so that was a really interesting take I made from it, because yeah, it was gorgeous. It was really, really gorgeous. Experimental shit. So it's actually a lot harder. This is so hot. And then you can think about doing it with your eyes closed. I mean, there's just really no limits here. But yeah, this is like sort of an idea that I came up with in terms of illustration. But let's sort of remove the idea. If, for instance, we were looking to create something in this style, where does it root from and what's the idea behind it? So in fashion you can work back, which isn't wrong because it's your journey and it's your development. So now thinking about what I've created, well, you can think of this as the ocean. I'm going to think of this as the ocean, and I'm going to work my way back. I sort of also describe the ocean as having like warm spots and other spots. It's funny because when you go in the sea and you're like, oh, it's really cold here, like and then you go in further and it's like, oh my god. And then when you go like into a different spot, you're like, oh, that's weirdly hot, and it doesn't really make sense. And maybe I might add attributes of like coral reefs and like the warmth, so like warmer tones, orange. And they sort of stick together. Like succulents, plants that take all those planktons and like small fishes. So I'd sort of do it like that. And then when I was in Lisbon, I saw beautiful flowers. That's sort of incorporated in the ocean. Warmer parts, colder parts, darker parts. Then you have like shark tangent. So this could be interesting to like print. So I feel like we're using it all of the colours of the ocean anyway, besides the pink. Maybe the pink could be the fish. Or the pink could also be. And for this looks like a scary fish. could be like a zebra print fish. Bit in pink. And picture that as the sand. No, this is the sand. This is gonna be the sand. There's the sand. And I feel like the sand would probably be a lot more texture, so maybe some dots. I'd love to put this up there. Dots, 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 dots. Actually, I'm gonna go in with a lighter shade. Okay, that was it. A little octopus. Travel down. So actually my sister had done this, took part in it, and she also had done this little fishy and some seaweed. And then this is the majority of what I worked on. Yeah, so that is pretty much how you do it, and I think that was really great for me to drop down all those ideas onto paper, but just not any paper. Like, I had merged everything together and created this big canvas for myself, and that allowed me to create more detailing and more precision, more abstract designs, and I'm feeling very content about it. I even got my sister to do some of it as well, and it just turned out to be really fun, and I kind of wish I did more things like that sooner. Sometimes it takes me that bit of courage, and not necessarily courage, actually more like a push and like motivation to get on with it, even though I know I'm gonna really enjoy it, and that made me just so happy right there. That I got it all over me actually, but it was so much fun. You have those ideas, I think you should like really experiment with playing on a bigger scale, because for some reason to make something really big is more interesting. And I'm actually going to look into that when I stop recording. I'm going to look and find out why that is. But yeah, have fun with it and really experiment, because you can use the resources you have around you, even if it's not much, and I've just proven that I have a lot of fun doing.